What a run the Jacksonville Jaguars made last season, coming up one game short of the Super Bowl. Now, the majority of that defense that captivated us last year is definitely back in the fold, but the offense in Duval County may look a little bit different. Is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the 2018 Jacksonville Jaguars? Let's examine that as we preview their upcoming season. Let's take a look at some of the key storylines heading into the season as we go into our 4-minute offense. The Jaguars got to the AFC Championship game last year and was maybe a completed pass away from the Super Bowl, but it's hard to ignore how conservative the play calling was in that game in the second half, and 85% of that was due to the belief or lack thereof in quarterback Blake Bortles. Now, Bortles did play a big role in helping them get to that point with his running ability against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, but when they needed him the most against New England, both he and the staff were a bit gun-shy. Was that lack of aggressiveness in the second half a peek into the mindset of the organization with regards to the former 3rd overall selection? Well, in the offseason, they gave him sort of a vote of confidence with a contract extension, but even then, the contract is structured to where the Jags can get out of it in 2019. So again, how much belief is there in number 5 heading into the season? For a good period of time, the Jaguars had 2 premier options on the flanks in Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns. Both are now with new teams, and that leaves the position looking a little different. Well, not exactly, because if you were paying attention last year, we got a glimpse of what was to come as players like Marquise Lee, Keelan Cole, and D.D. Westbrook started to play more prominent roles within his offense as both Robinson and Hurns dealt with injuries, with Robinson missing the entire season. This year, Lee, Cole, and Westbrook entered the season as the guys in the passing game, along with rookie 2nd-round pick DJ Chark, and it will be interesting to see how they can build on what they were able to do collectively as a group last season. The story of 2017 was how dominant and great the Jacksonville Jaguars were defensively. This was a unit that finished 2nd in the league in total defense, 1st in pass defense, 2nd in points allowed, interceptions, and sacks. This group was brash, smothering, and aggressive. That's a dangerous combination. And what's even more dangerous is that they may actually be better this year as they've gotten deeper in certain spots via the draft and free agency. And we could be looking at the new bullies on the block defensively like we've seen recently with the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Seattle Seahawks. One of the more interesting battles on this defense will be at the nickel position. Last year's draftee Jalen Myrick out of Minnesota played well in 5 games. In 2017 free agent signing Tyler Patman was mainly a special teamer last year, and this year they signed former 1st-round pick DJ Hayden, and all 3 will be competing along with others for the nickel spot within his defense. And if there were one area of the Jags defense that could stand to get better, it would be this position. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out over the rest of the summer. A reason for optimism for the Jaguars will be their backfield. I absolutely love the collection of talent that they have back there, led by last year's 1st-round pick Leonard Fournette, who paid immediate dividends by rushing for over 1,000 yards in only 13 games. TJ Yeldon and Corey Grant gives them capable backups that provide good value in the passing game, and they have a very good fullback in Tommy Bohannon. This is the best core in the division, in my opinion. The Jaguars also got better in the offseason along the offensive line with the signing of guard Andrew Noel. He joins a group that was solid last season and instantly gives them an upgrade on the interior, which essentially strengthens the running game and the passing game collectively. Both he and 2nd-year player Cam Robinson gives Jacksonville 2 bona fide stars up front. Another reason for optimism is the fact that the defense is still intact. Stands for Paul Posluszny, who retired this offseason, but for the most part, the defense is still the same athletic, aggressive, dominant, and ignorant group, which will be a problem once again for opposing offenses. This is a unit that adds rookie defensive lineman Taven Bryant and safety Ronnie Harrison to it. Both players were amongst the best at their position in the NFL draft. A cause for concern would be the passing game. To me, that would be the only concern on this team because we just don't know what to expect. We may have an idea, but definitely not for sure, as there are a lot of variables at play here. There's talent on the perimeter, and they've added good pieces like tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins and wide receiver Dante Moncrief, but what Bortles will show up week to week is probably the biggest question. Now, here are some quick takes as the Jaguars go through training camp. Look for D.D. Westbrook and linebacker Blair Brown to be breakout stars for this team. Westbrook has a knack for getting open and should thrive in an expanded role in 2018. Brown should get the first crack at the open linebacker spot, and based off how he played in college and what he did last year in a couple of starts, he should be primed for a breakout season. Some camp surprises will be undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver Allen Lazard and safety Ronnie Harrison. Lazard was a dependable option for the Iowa State Cyclones and had a solid Senior Bowl week as well. I can foresee him being that inside option for the Jags in a pseudo wide receiver tight end flex type of a role within this offense. And Harrison has the versatile skills for a safety. He can play in the box, back deep, and has ball skills. I think he fits in perfectly with the Jags with what he brings to the table on the football field and from a mentality standpoint. And rookie standouts this year will be wide receiver DJ Chark and safety Ronnie Harrison. Chark built on a good showing at the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine and was able to parlay that into a second-round selection. I can see him being the deep threat within this offense. And from a fantasy football perspective, running back Leonard Fournette will be the go-to target on this team. I would place a second-round value on him because of how valuable he is to this offense and the usage he'll get once the season gets rolling. The road to the Super Bowl for the Jaguars goes as follows. This defense has to enjoy another healthy season like they did last year. Quiet as kept, they were fairly healthy the entire season, which helps with continuity, which helps you reach your full potential as a group. And second, the passing game has to take big steps forward from a trust and productivity standpoint. A well-balanced Jags offense will be lethal for the rest of the AFC. And finally, as long as the Jaguars have that edge that they showed all season last year, they'll be very tough to beat, which could help them get to Atlanta this winter. I have the Jaguars finishing second in the AFC South. This is a playoff team once again based on their defense and their running game, and any improvement from Bortles and an increase in trust from the coaching staff in regards to Bortles could help them get back to and through the AFC title game in 2018. So that's it for our 2018 NFL season team preview. Be sure to follow me on all of our social media accounts. Also check out and subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, and to find other NFL team previews for our 2018 NFL season kickoff, visit the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and click that subscribe button.